In last video, I taught the use of models, and as for those taught topics, I hope you have remembered it. I discussed the use of can, could, be able to, may and might. In use of can, could and be able to, I hope you have remembered that they are generally equally used, and I especially mentioned the difference between can and could. Could is the past form of can, and in many cases we use could to show the big possibility comparatively to can. The same case is applicable in case of using may and might as well. Today we will discuss the use of shall, should and ought to. So be focused now to listen so that you can understand it well. As for the use of shall is concerned, we know that in normal future tense with I and be we use shall, like I shall go, we shall go. To show necessity with he, she, it means you, they. To show necessity with first, third person and second person we use shall, means he shall go now, means it is compulsory for him to go. To offer assistance or polite request when we are quite sure of a positive answer, we use shall, like shall we go for a walk. To offer assistance when we are not sure of positive answer, we use should in place of shall, like should I call a doctor. A prediction or expectation that something will happen, like the work should be finished in time, he should come by 10. To give advice we use shall, should, like we should read this book if we really want to improve our knowledge. As for the use of should and ought to is concerned, ought to and should both are used in the same context, but in use of these two models there is a minor difference, and the difference is where ought to denotes moral responsibility. Ought to is used for moral responsibility without any force. Same place should is used with force, means where we have responsibility, however it is moral, despite this is despite there is external force, whether we wish or not, we have to do that. In case we use should, not ought to, like we ought to help the poor. There is no compulsion. It is not compulsory for us that we have to help the poor whether we wish or not. But if we use should in place of ought to, it is forceful. Should is forceful comparatively to ought to. I hope you could get it easily when you will go through different examples of use of shall, should and ought to use. Now we will discuss the use of need to, must and have to. Must is used for with necessity or requirement, like we must have a passport to cross the border. She must apply for visa by April 15. Now you should focus as we talked about the similarity in use of should and ought to, the same similarity is there in use of have to and need to. Have to and need to are often used in the same context, but need to is sometimes used to denote something that is less urgent or something in which we have choice. So we must be careful at the time we use have to and need to. We have to care the situation, care the meaning of the sentence if it talks about some compulsory things or optional things. If it is compulsory, we will have to use have to, and if there is option over there, we can use need to. When we are almost 100% sure and certain, we use must, like she has been a student of good English teacher, so he must be good in English. In this case we use must. To persuade also we use must, like you must read this book. This book must be very helpful in improving your knowledge. So I hope that you must be able to use must, have to and need to whenever you have some problems regarding it, and it will help a lot in errors and omissions as well when you have ever chance to solve them. Now I will discuss the use of will. Will is used in common future tense, in normal future tense, to show necessity with I and be, like I will finish this work, means it is an emphatic sentence. Emphatically subject wants to declare, subject wants to tell that he will finish this work. Will is used for polite request or a statement as well, like will you please help me, will you please give me. This type of sentences we can use this will. For habitual action also we use would or will, because we know it that would is the past form of will. So where we are using will, whenever we have to chance to use will in past form, we have to use would in place of it. So with habitual action as well we use will. So I think you must be able to use models clearly now. Before ending this chapter, I would like to mention some feature of modal verbs also. I have already told you that modals are also a kind of verbs. In definition also I told that modal is a type of verbs which is used to express ability, possibility, permission or obligation. So it is different in some ways comparatively to other common verbs, and the difference is modal is free from the effect of number, person, tense of the subject, tense of the sentence as well. Whenever we use modals, generally we use base form of verb. So this is a special feature of modal verbs.